Hello, my dear students. So, now we will study the first kingdom from the five kingdom classification. So, the first kingdom which was proposed is Kingdom Monera. Okay, so Kingdom Monera is the first kingdom given by the R.H. Whitaker, and it includes the prokaryotes, right? So, that means all the organisms which are present in the Kingdom Monera, which belong to Kingdom Monera, they lack nuclear membrane. They don't have any nucleus. Okay, and they are most primitive organisms. So evolutionary terms में अगर हम देखें तो सबसे पहले जो इवॉल्व हुए सबसे प्रिमिटिव ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं वो किंगडम मोनेरा के ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं एंड these organisms are माइक्रोस्कोपिक ऑर्गेनिजम्स. ठीक है, जो प्रोकैरियोट्स हैं उनका साइज़ बहुत ही छोटा होता है और इनका जो स्ट्रक्चर है सेलुलर स्ट्रक्चर होता है. इसमें कोई मल्टी सेलुलर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन या कोई टिश्यू लेवल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं होता है. समटाइम्स फ्यू सेल्स में एग्रीगेट टू मेक अ लूज aggregate like structure, but they never form a tissue, and this loose aggregation also happens very rarely. It's not very frequent. So they are most primitive and sorry, and the bacteria actually uh, are included in the kingdom Monera. So bacteria are the sole members. They are the primary organisms of the kingdom Monera. And as you know that bacteria are present almost everywhere. If it is air, if it is soil, if it is water, if it is dirty water, if it is some acidic soil, if it is some forest region, or if it is some very adverse kind of the climates, almost everywhere the bacteria will be present. So that means they will also be most abundant. Okay, so they are most primitive, most abundant, and they live in extreme habitats. ओके, यानी अगर बिल्कुल गर्म पानी की जो हॉट स्प्रिंग्स होती हैं, ओके, जहाँ पे मोर देन 100 डिग्री सेल्सियस टेम्परेचर रहता है, एंड इट इज़ नॉट ए लाइक ए हॉट वाटर, रादर इट इज़ ए लाइक हॉट सूप ऑफ द solution, and it's usually 110 or 120 degree or even higher than that. So extreme habitats of extreme temperatures, extreme pH conditions, that means highly acidic or highly basic soils or highly basic environments, or very highly salty regions also harbor these organisms. Okay, and many of the organisms of this kingdom are actually parasitic, and some are uh, autotrophic, that means they can synthesize their own food, but mostly these organisms are heterotrophic. Okay, many are parasitic, mostly they are heterotrophic, some are autotrophic. In autotrophic, we had seen in the previous lecture that there are two kinds of the autotrophs, photoautotrophs and chemoautotrophs, right? So photoautotrophs भी होते हैं किंगडम मोनेरा के मेंबर्स. फोटोऑटोट्रॉप्स क्या करेंगे, वो लाइट की हेल्प से कार्बन फिक्सेशन करेंगे, लाइट के हेल्प से वो अपना फूड बनाएंगे, अपना एनर्जी जो है एसिमुलेट करेंगे और उस पर सर्वाइव करेंगे. तो वो हो गया फोटोऑटोट्रॉफ. सो दे रिलाई ऑन द प्रोसेस ऑफ फोटोसिंथेसिस. कीमोऑटोट्रॉफ्स में क्या होता है कि दे हार्वेस्ट देयर एनर्जी फॉर सर्वाइवल फ्रॉम सम केमिकल रिएक्शंस अदर देन दी फोटोसिंथेसिस. ओके, शॉर्टली हम उसको थोड़ा सा और डिस्कस करेंगे कि कैसे होता है वो. नाउ बिफोर गोइंग इनटू द मच डिटेल ऑफ द किंगडम मोनेरा, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ दीज ऑर्गेनिजम्स आर, लेट अस सी दैट. तो अगर हमने ये देखा कि जो सेलुलर स्ट्रक्चर है उसमें सेल वॉल प्रेजेंट होता, मोस्टली प्रेजेंट होता है, और वो किस तरह का मटेरियल का होता है, पॉलीसैकेराइड्स का होता है, राइट, या कुछ अमीनो एसिड्स उसमें प्रेजेंट हो सकते हैं, वो हमने ऑलरेडी देखा था, डिस्कस किया था. अगर हम उसके साइज़ की बात करें तो जो प्रोकैरियोट्स का साइज़ आपको ये याद रखना चाहिए कि प्रोकैरियोट्स हैव ए साइज विच इज़ ऑलमोस्ट 10 टाइम्स स्मॉलर देन द साइज ऑफ द यूकैरियोटिक cells. Okay, in general this is an average thing. Okay, that means most of the organisms of the monera or most of the bacteria are very small organisms. Okay, तो ये हो गया साइज. उसके बाद अगर हम शेप की बात करें तो इनका शेप बहुत वेरी करता है. इनका शेप स्फेरिकल बॉल लाइक हो सकता है, या रॉड लाइक एक लंबा सा स्ट्रक्चर हो सकता है, या फिर एक स्पाइरल भी हो सकता है, या फिर बहुत सारी वैरायटी होती हैं. तो यहाँ आपके टेक्स्ट बुक में यू हैव दिस फिगर 2.1 विच शोज द बैक्टीरिया ऑफ डिफरेंट शेप्स. यू कैन सी द कोकाई. कोकाई आर स्फेरिकल शेप्ड. देन bacilli are club shaped or rod shaped. Okay, so you can see the shape of the these kind of the organisms. So cocci are one kind of the monerans or one kind of the bacteria. Bacilli are another kind of bacteria. Then spirilla. So spirilla in plural and spirillum in singular. So they are spiral shaped. You can see as over here. You can see that this is just like a spiral. Okay, wavy like structure. So that is why it is called as a spirilla. And then you have this comma shaped form, and they are called as vibrio. So in plural it is vibrio, in singular it is vibrium. So based on this shape of the bacteria, they are categorized into these types. So coccus is a plural, coccus is singular and plural is cocci. Okay, so coccus and cocci are same thing. Coccus is singular but cocci is plural, and their shape is spherical. Okay, similarly bacillus, they are the rod shaped or club shaped, club shaped, and their plural is bacilli. Okay, then vibrium is for the comma shaped and the plural is vibrio. Spirillum is for the spiral shaped. Okay, now these basic four shapes of the bacteria are there, and there might arise some further complexity into the shapes using these basic shapes. For example, if you see over here, you can see here you have one sphere, that means it is a one single bacteria, but here you can see two bacteria which are attached together. So sometimes what happens that there are two cocci always attached to each other, and this is arrangement is called as diplococci or diplococcus. Okay, so similarly monococcus bacteria, diplococcus, triplococcus. Okay, in this way you go on. So not only for cocci, you have for bacillus also, monobacillus, diplobacillus, tribacillus, tetrabacillus, this kind of arrangements exist. So these are so now I think you must have heard the name of the lactobacillus. What is the lactobacillus bacterium? It is a bacterium, it is present in the curd, right? So curd has lactobacillus. That means what will be the shape of the bacterium? It will be long rod like structure, right? If you see under the compound microscope, then this bacteria will be long rod like structure. Why under the compound microscope? Because you cannot see it with naked eye. Why? Because it is a microscopic organism, it is very small, so you cannot see it with naked eye. You cannot see it with simple microscope, rather you have to use a compound microscope. And if you want to see the detailed structure of these bacteria, then what you have to do? Then you have to use the electron microscope. Okay, so those things we will see in the coming discussions in the coming chapters. So now these monerans or these bacteria, they have very simple cell structure, they are very small sized, most abundant, and they have very simple organization at the cellular level. But in behavioral terms, they are very complex organisms. Why? Because as we already have seen that they may live under extreme conditions. They may live under highly acidic or highly basic conditions, right? They may live under very cold conditions. They may live under the glaciers, which are hundreds or even millions of years old. They may live also in the water or was boiling soup, which is more than well above or well higher than 100 degrees Celsius. So they have to survive over there, and they have to carry out all the metabolic reactions, or the all the living reactions have to be performed. They have to be alive under those conditions. So they have to evolve their metabolism, they have to evolve their metabolic reactions so that they can survive. That means their behavior has to be very diverse so that they can adapt to these different conditions. So their behavior is very diverse and very complex, and they have most extensive diversity, not only in the shape, not only in the behavior, but they have most extensive diversity in terms of the metabolism. They can synthesize a huge, vast variety of the chemicals or metabolites which are obtained from the bacteria, and they are very simple organisms. So some bacteria may synthesize a very complex molecule, another bacteria may synthesize another very complex molecule, but it is a very simple factory like situation. So that means you can exploit these organisms if you want to make these complex molecules. To synthesize these molecules in the laboratory by chemical methods is very difficult, but if you use these bacteria, they uh, give wonders, right? For example, you all must have heard that penicillin is the first antibiotic which was discovered, right? And if you want to synthesize the chemical penicillin or the antibiotic penicillin in the by chemical method, it is very difficult, right? But if you want to synthesize it using the bacteria, then it is very easy. You can grow the bacteria on very simple raw materials, and it will produce lot of antibiotic, lot of penicillin for you. Okay, so this diversity in the metabolic reactions in the metabolic pathways is very useful for humans. Mostly these organisms, these bacteria, they are very useful. Sometimes they are harmful, but however they are very infamous. We all think that bacteria or these microscopic organisms or microorganisms are usually harmful or parasitic, they cause some or the other disease. However, actually, if you are a science student, if you are able to appreciate, then you will know that bacteria are actually very useful for us. Only few are very harmful. Okay, so as we have seen that they may be autotrophic or heterotrophic. That means if it is autotrophic, it will synthesize its own food. So autotrophs are two types: photoautotrophs and chemoautotrophs. Here you can see it, right? And heterotrophs cannot synthesize their own food. They have to get the energy from some other molecule which is called as food. So this is the general description, general features of the kingdom Monera. If you are asked to write a short note on the kingdom Monera, then you have to mention these things. Further, you have to give a very brief description of the two types of the organisms which constitute the kingdom Monera. So the kingdom Monera organisms are divided into two categories. The one is Archaebacterium, another is Eubacteria. Okay, so now let us discuss about the Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. So Archae means, I think most of you know that Archae means old, ancient, right? Archaeology department, I think you all must have heard about it. So Archae means old or ancient, and then bacteria. So Archaebacteria are actually, as you can guess, they are most primitive organisms. If they are most primitive, that means they will be very simple organisms, and they can live under the very extreme habitats. Okay, so they live in the most harsh conditions, they live in most harsh habitats. Okay, so this is the very peculiar feature of the Archaebacteria. So Archaebacteria are a kind of the Moneran organisms, and they live in the most harsh conditions. And Archaebacteria are not true bacteria. Okay, the true bacteria are called as Eubacteria, and they are more advanced than the Archaebacteria. So Archaebacteria are also different types. So those archaebacteria which live under the extreme salty conditions, they are called as halophiles, as you can see over here. So halophiles live under the extreme salt conditions. Then thermoacidophiles, as the name indicates, thermo means hot, acido means acidic, and philes mean those organisms which like it, right? Hydrophobic, hydrophilic, you must have heard it, right? Hydrophobic means water repelling and hydrophilic means water loving, right? So thermoacidophiles means those bacteria, those archaebacteria which live under high temperature and high acidic conditions. Usually they are found in hot springs. Okay, then another category is of the methanogens. Methanogens, the name is because they produce methane gas. So methanogens are actually found mostly in the marshy habitats or in the marshes. Okay, they are also found in the guts of the ruminants. What are the ruminants? Ruminants are the kind of or a kind of cattle. So cows and buffalo, they are a kind of the ruminants. Okay, कुछ जानवर जो होते हैं खाने के बाद क्या करते हैं, उसको फिर से दोबारा स्टमक से निकाल करके और उसको च्यूइंग करते हैं, राइट? सो दैट्स, उसके लिए उनके स्टमक में एक स्पेशल कंपार्टमेंट होता है और उस तरह के ऑर्गेनिजम्स को हम बोलते हैं रूमिनेंट्स. ओके, तो रूमिनेंट्स जो ऑर्गेनिजम्स होते हैं उनके स्टमक के एक पोर्शन में दे हैव दीज काइंड ऑफ द आर्कीबैक्टीरिया व्हिच आर कॉल्ड एज मिथानोजेंस एंड दे हेल्प टू डिग्रेड the certain chemicals or certain molecules in the food of those cattle, and they produce the methane gas also. That is why you can use the cattle dung for the production of the biogas. In the biogas you have mainly the methane which is produced by these archaebacteria. Okay, so archaebacteria are actually very unique organisms. They are most primitive. They live in the very harsh conditions and they differ from the true bacteria. How they differ from the bacteria? They differ in the cell wall structure. The cell wall structure of the archaebacteria is different from the cell wall structure of the eubacteria. Okay, we are not going into much detail over here, but you should know that archaebacteria have different kind of this cell wall as compared to bacteria. In bacteria usually you have the peptidoglycan layer, but in the archaebacteria you don't have the peptidoglycan layer usually. Moreover, the sequence of the rRNA in the ribosome also differs. Okay, so the details of these things you will know in the coming chapters and in the next higher class where we will discuss in detail about the ribosome. So let me tell you over here very briefly that ribosome is actually a very big molecule and it serves like a factory for the protein production. Okay, so ribosome is a very big molecule. Okay, and ribosome is made up of rRNA and proteins. Okay, so this rRNA is nothing but ribosomal RNA. Okay, so like DNA, what is DNA? DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. What is RNA? RNA is ribonucleic acid. Okay, so both are nucleic acids. DNA and RNA both are nucleic acids, and RNA are different types. So one type of RNA is rRNA. Okay, so all these details we will discuss in the in your next year. Okay, so the sequence, the nucleotide sequence of the rRNA also differs in the archaebacteria from the eubacteria. Okay, so these are the important things about the archaebacteria. The most important thing in the archaebacteria is the methanogens. Okay, it has been asked many times. So methanogens are not the bacteria, they are not true bacteria, they are archaebacteria. Okay, so now let us come to the second category, the final category of the kingdom Monera, which is eubacteria. So eu means true, so eubacteria means true bacteria. That means the actual bacteria, they are included in the eubacteria. So there are certain criteria based on the cellular structure that are used to distinguish or to categorize the bacteria into the eubacteria. So what are the features of the eubacteria? Eubacteria have a different sequence of the sequence of the rRNA in the ribosome, as we have seen, and in their cell wall structure they have the very rigid cell wall structure. Okay, usually, not always. Usually, the eubacteria have a rigid cell wall structure and it is made up of the peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycan क्या होता है? This is a kind of the polymer. ये एक मॉलिक्यूल होता है. इसके बारे में भी हम डिटेल में बाद में पढ़ेंगे बायोमोलिक्यूल्स वाले चैप्टर में. ओके. There is another thing. Most of the bacteria are motile. That means they can move around. So they move usually with the help of a structure which is called as flagella. Okay. Here, if you see here in this figure 2.1, this is Spirillum bacterium is having this kind of the you can see hair like structures, right? So this is nothing but flagellum. So this can just flip like this and it will help to move the bacterium around, so that it will provide the motility to the bacterium. So flagella may be present or absent. Usually if the bacteria is motile, it will have the flagella. Okay, then as we have seen that the monerans are of based on the nutrition mode of nutrition, they may be autotroph or they may be heterotroph. In the autotroph, we have seen that there are photoautotrophs and chemoautotrophs. In the photoautotrophs, the main category is called as cyanobacterium. Okay, so cyanobacteria, they are a kind of eubacteria and they are photoautotrophs. Cyano का मतलब होता है blue. Okay, so these can perform the photosynthesis, but they don't have the cell structure similar to the plant cell. However, they contain the chlorophyll. Okay, so they have chlorophyll A molecule in the cyanobacteria. Okay, so cyanobacteria have the chlorophyll A molecule and they are photosynthetic autotrophs, and this chlorophyll A molecule is actually similar to the chlorophyll A molecule present in the green plants. Okay, in the higher plants, and they are again at the cellular structure level or at the cellular aggregation level. Cyanobacteria may be unicellular or they may be arranged. Several bacteria may come closer together and they form a colony like structure, so they may be colonial, or sometimes they are arranged one after another in a series and they look like filaments, so they may be filamentous also. So they may be unicellular, they may be colonial, or they may be filamentous. Okay, they will not be multicellular, right? Because all the monerans are the unicellular, they are not multicellular, they are unicellular prokaryotes. And what is the habitat? Where do they live? The cyanobacteria live in marine or terrestrial. Marine means sea में या ocean में रहते हैं. Sometimes fresh water में भी हो सकते हैं. Usually, mostly cyanobacteria are found in the marine condition, and they may occur on the soil also, on the land also. That is why they may be terrestrial as well. Okay, if the colonies are present, usually the colonies will have the gelatinous sheath outside the colonies or outside the filaments. Okay, so if you see here a filamentous blue green algae, this species is called as nostoc. तो ये नेम है उसका, ठीक है. आप देखिए, दिस इज ए प्रिंटेड बाइनोमियल नोमेनक्लेचर, तो इसीलिए यहाँ पे इटैलिक्स में किया हुआ है, ठीक है. नोस्टॉक, तो नोस्टॉक इज ए member of Monera, it is a member of Eubacteria, it is a member of Cyanobacteria, and here you can see it is looking greenish in structure. Okay, and it can perform the photosynthesis. It has this mucilaginous sheath or gelatinous sheath which covers it all around, and it has some special cells, and these cells, they are a little bit swollen and they perform specialized functions, and these cells are called as heterocysts. Okay, so what is the function of the heterocysts? Heterocysts are specialized cells present in the filaments of the cyanobacteria. Okay, for example nostoc, and they do the nitrogen fixation. That means they capture the atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into some useful form of the nitrogen which can be utilized, and it is present in the nostoc. And another example is Anabaena. Okay, then after the photoautotrophs, some bacteria may be chemoautotrophs or chemosynthetic autotrophs. Okay, so chemosynthetic autotrophs means जो बैक्टीरिया अपना फूड खुद से सिंथेसाइज करेंगे, लेकिन वो लाइट एनर्जी को यूज़ नहीं करेंगे। लाइट की एनर्जी को यूज़ करते हैं, वो फोटोसिंथेसिस होता है, राइट। यहाँ पे ये क्या करते हैं, केमिकल एनर्जी को यूज़ करते हैं, यानी कि कुछ केमिकल्स हैं जिनको कि वो डिग्रेड करते हैं। ओके, सो दैट मीन्स ये यूजुअली क्या करते हैं, डिकम्पोजर्स जो है वो कीमोसिंथेटिक ऑटोट्रॉप्स होते हैं। तो इनका न्यूट्रिएंट साइक्लिंग में बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल होता है, क्योंकि डिकम्पोजिशन के बाद कोई ऑर्गेनिज्म है, मान लीजिए प्लांट है या एनिमल है, वो डाई हुआ है, तो उसके बॉडी का जो डिकम्पोजिशन होगा, वो उसके जो मॉलिक्यूल्स हैं, जो उसके पॉलीमर्स हैं, उसका जो सेल का स्ट्रक्चर्स हैं, एक्स्ट्रा सेलुलर मटेरियल्स है, वो सब ब्रेक डाउन होकर के स्मॉलर कंपोनेंट्स में जाएगा, और उसके बाद फिर वो ऑक्सीडेशन उसका होगा, और उस तरह से जो उससे जो एनर्जी मिलेगी, जो इनऑर्गेनिक सब्सटेंसेस जो है उनका ऑक्सीडेशन होता है एक्चुअली कीमोसिंथेटिक में। ठीक है, यहाँ इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ ये है, आपको याद रखना है, जो हेट्रोट्रॉफिक होते हैं वो फूड मॉलिक्यूल की एनर्जी को यूटिलाइज करते हैं। ठीक है, फूड क्या है, ग्लूकोज है, या फिर आपके पास हो गया स्टार्च हो गया, या इवन सेल्यूलोज समटाइम्स, राइट। तो जो ऑर्गेनिक मटेरियल यूजुअली जो होता है वो फूड होता है, बट ये जो कीमोसिंथेटिक होते हैं वो यूजुअली ऑर्गेनिक फूड या ऑर्गेनिक मटेरियल को नहीं, बल्कि इनऑर्गेनिक सब्सटेंसेस को ऑक्सीडाइज करते हैं, और उनके ऑक्सीडेशन से जो इनको एनर्जी मिलती है उसकी हेल्प से ये एनर्जी, उस एनर्जी को ये यूटिलाइज करके और फिर अपना ये काम करते हैं, और उस तरह से ये सरवाइव करते हैं। ओके, so they harvest the energy by oxidation of these inorganic substances like nitrates or nitrites, okay, or even ammonia, okay, and they convert this energy into ATP which is utilized subsequently later on, okay। तो इस तरह से जो कीमोसिंथेटिक ऑटोट्रॉप्स हैं वो इनऑर्गेनिक सब्सटेंसेस से एनर्जी हार्वेस्ट करते हैं, और इस तरह से जो इनऑर्गेनिक सब्सटेंसेस हैं जैसे कि नाइट्रोजन, फास्फोरस, सल्फर, आयरन, ये इसके जो न्यूट्रिएंट साइकिल है उसमें इनका एक बहुत बड़ा रोल होता है। नाइट्रोजन फिक्सेशन में इनका बहुत बड़ा रोल होता है। ठीक है, तो ये हो गया सेकेंड कैटेगरी ऑफ द ऑटोट्रॉप्स ऑफ द यूबैक्टीरिया। तो हमने देखा फोटो ऑटोट्रॉप्स जो कि साइनोबैक्टीरिया है, और उसके बाद कीमोसिंथेटिक ऑटोट्रॉप्स जो कि कुछ अदर ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं, जैसे कि ये जो नाइट्रोजन मेटाबॉलिज्म में जो यूटिलाइज होते हैं वो सब इसमें आ जाएंगे। ओके, जैसे कि नाइट्रोसोमोनास वगैरह, तो वो सब हम बाद में और डिटेल में देखेंगे जब हम थोड़ा सा और एडवांस वाला पढ़ेंगे, तो वहाँ पे हम इसको डिस्कस करेंगे कि कैसे ये होता है। बट आप ये समझ लीजिए कि ये जो कीमो ऑटोट्रॉप्स होते हैं उनका न्यूट्रिएंट साइकिल में एक बहुत बड़ा रोल होता है। ओके, क्योंकि ये इनऑर्गेनिक सब्सटेंसेस ऑक्सीडाइज करते हैं। नाउ नेक्स्ट कैटेगरी हमने देखा यूबैक्टीरिया में कि पहली कैटेगरी कौन सी हुई, फोटो ऑटोट्रॉप्स की, और सेकेंड कैटेगरी जो है वो हेटेरोट्रॉप्स की है। ओके, पहली कैटेगरी ऑटोट्रॉफ की, तो हमने देख लिया दो तरह के ऑटोट्रॉप्स। सेकेंड कैटेगरी जो कि हेटेरोट्रॉफ, एज वी हैव सीन इन द बिगिनिंग इटसेल्फ दैट मोस्ट ऑफ द मोनेरन्स आर heterotrophs, right? That means they are not able to synthesize their own food, they depend on certain food molecules which is obtained from environment, and they utilize that energy for food for their survival। तो उसके बारे में जो हेट्रोट्रॉफिक बैक्टीरिया है उनके बारे में थोड़ा और डिटेल हम बाद में पढ़ेंगे। ठीक है, क्योंकि अभी काफ़ी ज़्यादा सब्सटेंस हो गया है और ये एक न्यू टॉपिक है एक तरह से, हेट्रोट्रॉफिक बैक्टीरिया, इसे यू बैक्टीरिया के अंदर। सो दैट वी विल डिस्कस later on in the next lecture। So I hope that now you have understood very nicely about the bacteria कि बैक्टीरिया क्या होते हैं, किस तरह के ऑर्गेनिज्म होते हैं, उनके अंदर सेलुलर लेवल पे क्या स्ट्रक्चर होता है, किस तरह का काम करते हैं, प्रिमिटिविटी उनकी कैसी है, किस तरह के एनवायरनमेंट में सर्वाइव करते हैं। ठीक है, उनका शेप कैसा होता है, वो मूव कैसे करते हैं, ये सब चीज़ आपने अच्छी तरीके से समझ लिया है। राइट, नाउ note down all these important points, okay, and we will continue with these kingdoms in the next lecture, in the coming lectures। Okay, stay safe, keep learning, don't waste your time, focus on your studies and utilize these precious moments so that you can clear the competitive exams which are ahead, and you are going to focus so that you can achieve your goals. Okay, so take care, keep learning. Bye bye.